Hello everybody and welcome to round number 8 of the PS4 Formula 8 tier. Today brings us to a black screen. Nah, I'm just kidding. It brings us to Baku, there we go, the European Grand Prix. It is, well, an interesting track, the street track situated in the city of Baku in Azerbaijan. So it's titled the European Grand Prix, title previously held by Catalonia and... well, technically not Catalonia, but the other Spanish circuit that I can't really think of. But yes, indeed, it is round 8. And we, of course, have a championship battle on our hands right now. Washi still leads the championship, but McQuiz takes over P2 and is now looking to be competing for that championship win. He's had about 3 non-starts this season, but is now 54 points behind his championship rival Washi, who's coming out on track, and who we must say a very, very happy birthday to him as he comes out onto the track. And it is his birthday today. He won't tell us how old he is. All I can assume is he's very old, but he's coming out onto the track now. Let's see if he can pick up a win on his birthday. So everybody else here, we got Noodle out on track as well. We got Jason, we have David Ben, who's starting to pick up his form a little bit now with a couple of podiums. Seika there in P4, non-finished last time out. IEJ, most consistent driver we'd had, points scored, I believe, every single race. Boniface took the win last time out, the most unexpected victory, and his first victory in AOR, so congratulations to him on his victory. That puts him up a little bit further into the championship. He's now 5th in the championship with an extra 25 points, but he's looking to better that result here today. Daniel UK had a non-finish last time out as well. Washi was 4th in the last Grand Prix, which another good result for him. Zek comes out on track as well, looking for another good result in the Renault. McQuiz, there's his championship rival, 54 points behind, with, I believe, David Ben about, or I can't, Denzamo, excuse me, Denzamo, who was P2 in the championship, is now P3, but there's a 2-point deficit between himself and McQuiz in the championship now, and is looking for his next podium, or perhaps a win if he can. G White's out on track as well. So, qualifying in Azerbaijan, looks like it's going to be Noodle to take us on the lap around Baku. One of the longest straights in F1. It is over a kilometre long. DRS in activation. You can see the speed, about 211 miles an hour as we get on the brakes for turn number 1. Locking up, clipping that inside and getting that very nicely done indeed before we head to turn 2. A 90-degree left. Watch the walls on the outside. Get on the power. Second DRS section on this track takes us down the main street before we head into the left-right here at the sign there, and then we head to another right before we head to the S section here, and we come to the castle section, which is the most famous and tightest corner in F1. You will see what I mean as we ride on board. It goes a bit deep there. There's Noodle, but gets it back. Stewart, and you can see the 2 skyscrapers atop the picture there, and here we are into the castle section. The old wall is where we're going to go now. We're going to go to the castle section, and that's how tight it gets. He takes it very cautiously, but there's the old castle line behind you right there, and here we go. We're heading towards the main road now. Taps the wall on the exit there, and we're going to take a flat out left right, double left, and then to another left here. It's blind. You're going to brake right here, and then you're going to kink left. Very hard corner there, and very easy to go wide right there. This is where we head onto the main road, down towards the start-finish. You can pretty much relax for a little bit now. This is a very, very long section, so here we go. Riding on board with Stuart as he goes through the second. We go left and we go right, absolutely flat out. Watch the wall on the way out. Oh, gets a kick oversteer for good measure. Somehow holds on to it. DRS will come up for him in a couple of seconds, and he'll pop that DRS flap open, and then we're going to come across the line. There's the pit entry, and across the line he'll set the benchmark. It's a 144.9. Now, let's watch who else is coming up. Washi goes top of the 143.5. Who else is close by? We're looking at Seika is going to be the next guy to come across the line in the Haas. We've got Denzamo goes faster than his teammate. Oh! David Ben is out of qualifying, and that is a very, very strange place to have lost the back end. That's coming up to the start-finish, and he's looked like he's just completely lost the car. That is a shame. He could have been challenging up there, but Denzamo sets the initial pace, and is going to be the man to beat now. And we have, Jason pushing it to the very edge. McQuiz goes top of the 142.9. Boniface is in there with the 143.9. So it is McQuiz on top. But Jason, did you see how close he got to that wall? Absolutely breathtaking stuff. Let's keep on board with the Red Bull driver. Gets very close to the wall again there. So he's really, really pushing here in Azerbaijan. Here he comes towards the start finish. Watch for the DRS flap on the rear. And here we go towards the start finish. Where is this going to put Jason? And it's going to put him 6th for now. So he goes quicker than IEJ and he goes quicker than Seika. So there is the initial pace setters. It is McQuiz. If you remember, took pole position. Sorry, didn't take pole position, but he hasn't had a pole position at all this season. Took the win in round 1. That was, of course, of Australia. And then goes Washi, 142.667. And a lot of Cali Damas in chat who says, who's your pick this week? You know, it's hard to choose. A lot of guys are starting to come on form right now. But if I'm going off previous records, then I'd have to say probably Washi, but then again it could be McQuiz and it could well be anybody else pretty much. I've got a yellow and that's Seika who's lost it. He's gone straight on to turn 1, that looks like. So McQuiz goes quickest, 142.2, and gets a nice couple of 2s in for himself there. But now, these are the two championship rivals right now. 54 points separate them, but we're not even halfway through. So that is it's a nice guy. It's a nice bit of breathing space for Washi, but he can't afford to be losing too many more races to this man, the Estonian, in the Mercedes. Very, very quick indeed. Boniface is on form again. It looks like P4 for him currently, and he isn't far off Denzamo. So let's keep an eye on him. The race winner last time out. Let's see what he can do in Baku. The two drivers not set a lap time yet are Daniel UK and Zek. Kai says I think Zek might be looking good. Well, we'll keep an eye on Zek because his TT times were looking good apparently. We think we had just had Daniel UK pop into 6th right there. Let's keep an eye on this man. Zek almost had a podium in Monaco, had a couple of time penalties, could have had the win. Whoa, pushing it to the limit there. It's almost so breathtaking watching these drivers go through the castle section. But let's see, Zek could be looking good here. David Ben obviously has crashed out of this qualifying on his outlap. So let's see, with tyres, let's see what everybody is up to. Everybody's on super softs currently, nobody going for anything else. Well, 3 minutes and 50 seconds remain in this qualifying session. Let's see where Zek can put his Renault. And David Ben says, I cannot believe that. Well, call it on stream if you want to watch it back, or if you'd prefer not to, then by all means. But let's watch Zek. Where can he put his Renault? Is he going on to a lap? He's going to go 5th for now, but he could improve. So let's keep an eye on the Englishman. 143.7 was his previous best. It's a couple of seconds separating him and the man in the top position. Could possibly see guys go into the 141s. TT, of course, is a different kettle of fish, but could potentially see. I think Zek was one of the guys who got into the 141s. Let's see if he can do it. So, we got Daniel UK going 3rd fastest right there in the in the Williams, excuse me. So, he's looking to return from his 2 crashes. I got too close to the wall coming through the back straight and clipped that wall and ping-ponged through the walls. Well, I thought it was a strange place to go off, but there you have it. Little mistake, even in a relatively simple section, can knock you out of qualifying. So, lesson learned. But Daniel UK is popped into the 142s, so he could be a challenger, the Polishman. Let's watch, keep an eye on Zek. There's a little bit of kick of oversteer going through the last section there. I was right on board with him as he comes through the last S section. Very smooth indeed, hardly any steering movement. David Bent says Daniel UK is a dark horse today. It's looking like that. It is very much looking like that. Here comes Zek though. He's coming into the pit lane. So he's not going to have enough time to come back out. So he's going to have to settle for 6th. Can Daniel UK potentially spring a surprise? Walsh is coming back out. I don't know if he's going to... Well, he's on an out lap. Is he going to have enough time? Yes, he will have enough time. He clatters the wall. McQuiz is going to stay in. And that's for him done for qualifying. Let's see. Can Washi get himself pole position on his birthday? Or can Daniel UK spring a surprise? He's going to let Denzamo through. Denzamo needs to keep himself in front, or keep himself close to McQuiz, but it's not going to look like that. And McQuiz might be able to get himself a nice little bit of breathing space in the championship. And it looks like Denzamo's got a bit of his front wing missing. And Boniface looks like he's had... Oh, dearie me. Yes, he has. He's completely crashed that McLaren. Denzamo, is he going to finish his lap? Yes, he is. On board with Denzamo as he comes across the line. Cannot improve. Daniel UK is going to come in. And Washi's the only guy who can now challenge for pole position, it looks like. Denzamo potentially, but he's got front wing damage. Let's keep an eye on Washi. He could get himself closer, but it's looking like McQuiz going to take his first pole position this season. Zek's he's retired, but McQuiz could take his first pole position of the season. Washi could take his second. Daniel UK has retired, so he's done, but he's going to take a second row start, which is his best of the season. Washi through the castle section, takes it relatively cautiously, but still pushes it to the limit. Qualifying is over in Azerbaijan. And the only man who can really challenge for P1 is this man, Washi. Denzamo is still on a lap and he's still pushing hard in that Toro Rosso. Looking very quick indeed. Can he get himself any closer? Let's keep an eye on his delta. Can we see it on his steering wheel? No, we can't. Coming through the final section, we'll keep right on board with him as we run through the S section through the final sector onto the main road. He's going to hit 200 miles an hour before he gets to the DRS for the final time. And here we go. Can he do it? Washi comes across the line. Can he go P1? The answer is no. He tried. He's a 1/10 of a second off, but no, he can't. So McQuiz takes his first pole position of the season. Can Denzamo get himself a little bit further up? I know he's on a lap. He's 2/10 of a second to make up. No, he gets ever so close, but no, he 300ths of a second, excuse me. So it's McQuiz who takes his first pole position here in AOR F8. So congratulations to him. Washi gets a front row start though, so you're going to be watching him. So he gets a front row on his birthday. Not quite exactly what he wanted, but it is a front row start. Daniel UK, a dark horse for this race in P3. Denzamo P4. Boniface will line up P5. Zek in P6. IEJ in P7. Jason in P8. Seika in P9. And after that, I didn't quite see, but we'll get confirmation of the results there. Hopefully the guys keep it clean. So there we go, there's your confirmation. Further on, we got Jason, Seika, Newell, G-Whites and David Ben, who crashed out, who will be starting last. In the end, it was a 1/10 of a second separating McQuiz and Washi. It's going to be a cracker in this European city of Baku. Daniel UK is going to be watching in the back, watching these two guys go at us. It's got the two championship contenders on the front row of the grid in Baku. Let's see what happens. Let me know your picks for the race winner today. Who do you think is going to take the victory today? David Ben is leaving chat and going to race. So we wish him the best of luck. And we're now waiting for the race to begin. The spectators are all lined up along the pit lane there. Very expensive seats. I would normally think there's that many people up above the boxes, but there you have it. So we have 20 seconds left before we begin here in Azerbaijan. This should be a good one. Monaco is currently race of the season, in my opinion. Can the street circuit of Baku bring us another cracker like it did in the actual F1 season? So with 5 seconds to go, grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go racing in Azerbaijan. And we go to 5 red lights for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. McQuiz gets away well. Washi gets away evenly as well. Danny UK gets away well. Denzamo going to be looking to the inside into turn number 1, and they've made contact. Washi makes contact with Danny UK, but McQuiz gets away well. Denzamo gets up to P3. Danny UK is going side by side with Denzamo into this turn number 2. We've had a couple of changes of position. We've got G White's going straight on there. David Ben is making his way up. He's made from last to 6th in a number of seconds when you think about it. He's going to be challenging Boniface right now. So now Washi stays P2, and he's Daniel UK and Denzamo still battling away there. Boniface and David Ben going at it as well. Let's keep an eye on those guys as David Ben makes contact with the back of the McLaren, and that looks like it's going to be called. And Zek makes his way through past the 2 of them there. Opportunistic as you like there between the Renault, the Toro Rosso and the McLaren. David Ben gets in front of Boniface, and we're going to be looking at Denzamo still challenging for P3 here versus Daniel UK. So they've kept it relatively clean of these boys. But Washi's let McQuiz slip away a little bit. Oh, he's made contact with the inside wall in the castle section. He's lost a bit of his front wing. Disaster. Let's watch Daniel UK as he challenges Washi now for the lead. Well, for P2, I should say. David Ben starting to challenge Zek now. It's all kicking off on lap 1. Denzamo on the back of Daniel UK. Now Zek trying to close up to these guys. David Ben's now all the way up to P6 from 12th on the grid. So let's keep an eye on how things are holding out. McQuiz is 2.4 seconds clear right now. Oh, Daniel UK goes wide. He loses the back end. He's going to give Denzamo gift him P3. But he's still on the inside. This could get a little bit messy. He hits the wall and out. So Daniel UK, absolute huge impact in the wall. And that is him somehow still in the race. But that's his chance is pretty much gone. IEJ's hit the wall as well. That is a real shame. And we've had a swap position. Zek is going to go through. Boniface has had to come in. So, yes, Washi's had to come in. Washi's in the pit lane for front wing. So that puts McQuiz, Denzamo, Zek, David Ben, Boniface, Seika, Jason, Danny UK, IEJ, and G Whites. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's all gone in the opposite direction of what we thought it would be. But now Zek finds himself up in P3 like he was in Monaco. So, he was in this position before in a street circuit, following a car in front, but couldn't make it stick. Washi comes out in P7. We've got the last 6-ish drivers are all in the pit lane for front wings, it looks like. Now David Ben, look at him. He's made up 8 positions. Oh, Zek hits the wall. He's made up 8 positions in 1 lap. Can he make up a 9th position? Zek hit the wall slightly there, tapped it just ever so slightly, but still loses his front wing. Now he's got a Ferrari hounding him. David Ben versus Zek. And we've got to watch out for Boniface, who's closing in a little bit there. DRS will be enabled next lap around. Denzamo is P2. Oh, Zek hits the wall once again, and David Ben gets involved as well. He's going to be looking to the inside into this section here. Down the inside goes David Ben for P2 in this P3 in this Grand Prix, and he's got that move done. But now Boniface is in the mix now in P5. This looks like there's been a problem for Daniel UK and Jason as well. Here we go! Boniface in the wall! That's a hard crash. How did his wheel stay on? Look at Zek bottom drafting David Ben down towards turn 1. He's going to be looking to the outside, but no DRS just yet. Down towards turn 1 on the outside, and who's going to break the latest? It's going to be Zek trying to hang one round the outside of the turn 1. Can he get that done? He gives him the space. David Ben shuts the door firmly in his face. So Boniface has had to come in after a huge crash in the wall. Washi onto those medium compound tyres. He's going aggressive. He's going long in this race. How on earth are people's wheels staying on after huge impacts like that? This is the battle for the podium position. David Ben looks like he is firmly in that seat now. Can he close up to Denzamo? We didn't... Oh, Zek is struggling with that wing damage. So, we haven't seen his true pace. Have we? David Ben, so can he close up to Denzamo? But right now it's McQuiz in the driving seat out front. And looking to take his his second win of this season. So, things have calmed down slightly now. Seika's up on a good P5 right now. But he's 14 seconds clear of Washi. And Noodle, I think, is in for his second stop. More wing damage, it looks like. G White's P11, IEJ P10, Jason P9, Danny OUK. Disastrous start for him. He's P8, Boniface in P7 now. Washi P6, Seika P5, Zek P4, David Ben P3. Denzamo in P2 and McQuiz out in P1, going on to lap 4 of 26 in the European Grand Prix. What a start, as usual, in the F8 tier. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Is there a problem for somebody there? Oh, it looks like it's going to be Jason. He's lost his front wing. Looks like he's had a problem in that castle section. Anybody else having any issues? We've got Zek has had to come in for wing damage. That puts Seika into P4. So, just by keeping his nose clean, he's made himself up a couple of positions there and now up into close to a podium. Don't know if he's going to have the pace to close up, but he's in a good P4 at this moment in time. But he's going to have Washi closing in the next couple of laps. He made up 2 seconds on him in that lap alone. Let's see where Zek is going to come out. He's going to be out close to Boniface. Boniface is going to come out in front of him. And keep an eye with Danny OUK. Could be close between him and Danny OUK. So he's going to go late on the brakes and go round the outside. Zek lets him through. But Danny OUK is going on a charge now, trying to recover from his crash on lap 1. Started P3, is now down in P7. But has had 2 non-finishes in the 2 races he's competed in. He's gone aggressive. He's gone soft tyres for this. And he's now 3.5 behind Boniface. But I don't know if he's going to be able to close up with Boniface. He might have the pace on these softs though, so let's keep an eye on him. So, as always, it's been a chaotic start in F8. My good friend Evil Dragon just got a job in F7, so I hope the guys are putting on a show for him in his first race, along with Nico as well in the commentary box in F7, wishing them the best of luck from F8. There is Boniface, your winner last time out in Canada. Oh dear, I almost cursed him right there. Winner last time out in Canada, surprise victory, but led every single lap of the race. And looking like he's on form, but he might have this man closing in shortly. The pole, Danny OUK. Meanwhile, Seika, how's he getting on? He's up in P4, he's 7.7 seconds behind David Ben in P3. And Washi's 11.2 behind him now, catching a second a lap. So everybody's pretty much on their own now. Field is spread out after that chaotic start that was on lap 1. Daniel UK definitely closing in on Boniface now, and Zek might be joining in the fun the next lap or so if he has his way. So Boniface is on medium tyres, looks like, so he's going to be having trouble keeping himself in front of the pole who's on a set of soft tyres. It's interesting to see a man from Poland in a Williams. We could potentially see that next year with Robert Kubica doing tests for Williams. And that'd be an interesting one. Also, we heard the announcement that Sauber are moving to Alfa Romeo as their title sponsor. And a very nice looking concept livery came out as well, with Marcus Ericsson and Charles Leclerc as their drivers next year. I think Leclerc definitely deserved that seat. Completely dominated Formula 2. And I I think Marcus Ericsson should really look out for Leclerc next year. But you can definitely see Danny O'K is pulling a lot of time on James Boniface. So he's only 7 tenths away from getting DRS, and DRS around this track, if you haven't noticed, is very, very effective because of how long the straight is. You get a big old toe down the main straight. It'll be in rich mix now, getting a distant toe off of the McLaren up ahead as Daniel UK pops in the fastest lap of the race. So he's pushing hard, but he will surely have to make another stop as well, as will all these guys, but much later on in the race. Zek comes into the pits again for another front wing. That'll put Ian up to 8th place, and possibly G White's up into 9th. But Daniel UK pulling more time. 1.2 behind now. I think James is going to have a very tough time holding this Williams behind him. Denzamba pulled a slight bit of time on McQuiz there. So we might see an interesting second phase of this Grand Prix when everybody makes their stops. Washi 7.8 behind Seika now, so he's pulling time. And Daniel UK 8 tenths of a second behind James Boniface now. He's definitely pulling time in that second sector where it looks like he's got a lot more downforce to use on that Williams, a lot more wing perhaps, but I think he's going to have an easy move down the main straight. Stick it in behind for now, Danny. You'll have your opportunity down the main straight. Here we go then. Honda power versus Mercedes power. We get the helicopter shots courtesy of FOM as we run down towards turn 1, focusing on the Williams as he'll get DRS. Seika comes in for his stop, puts Washi to P4, put these guys up to P4 and 5 respectively. Daniel UK gets the DRS, but I don't think it's going to be enough down towards turn number 1. He needs to be closer, but James is going defensive already, pops in another fastest lap. Daniel UK goes late on the brakes. Will he try one hang around the outside? No, he won't, but he'll have another bite of the cherry with the DRS in this next section. Keep himself tucked under the gearbox, but the dirty air will start affecting him, so it's going to be a hard job. James pulls a good bit of time there, looking good on the straights. And it's going to be no cigar for Daniel UK this time around. He'll have to stick behind the McLaren. We're going to ride on board with him as he follows James Boniface around this European Grand Prix circuit in Baku in Azerbaijan. The gap between Denzama and McQuiz is coming down. 3.9 the gap now. Danny goes a little bit wide, hops the curb. He's going to cost him a lot of time there. It's cost him a couple of tenths. 1.3. He's lost about 7 tenths alone, but he should be able to make that time back up. But how long will his softs last? You can definitely see how much time he gains even through that section there. Gets a kick of oversteer coming out of the castle section, and he's back within DRS range. Keep himself within that second bracket in the DRS detection zone, and he'll be on his way. We got a yellow in sector 1. Who's that for? I don't think that was just a momentary yellow flag, but back with Daniel UK as he still tries to challenge James Boniface. But James looks like he's got good straight line speed on that McLaren. Oh no! Daniel UK pushing too hard has clattered the wall, but it hasn't lost any of his front wing. Still has DRS, so he'll gain an overspeed. He's doing 220 miles an hour down towards turn 1, in towards turn 2. DRS detection is just about here, so he's within 7 tenths, but can he get the exit? He gets a good exit this time, but look at the straight line speed. James Boniface pulls a small gap, and DRS just doesn't take enough effect. He needs to be tucked up right behind him. G White and Zek have swapped positions. Very easily done, looks like, as G White has clattered the wall in a very, very odd accident there. Denzamo and McQuiz are closing in on each other. 3.4 the gap now, so Denzamo looks like he's managing tyre wear a little bit more now. Let's see. McQuiz, his tyre might start to go off now. Danny OK, let's keep an eye on him as he still trails and shadows every move that James Boniface makes in his McLaren. Through they go to the castle section. He's closer than he's ever been through this section. Look how much he closes up. Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you get your accent from, Jeff?
Okay, so back we go to the action. Looks like Danny OUK hasn't managed to get himself in front of James Boniface there, and still trails. Denzamo is now 3.4 behind McQuiz. He's definitely closing in, and we'll keep an eye on that gap as we go through. Daniel UK still remains 0.9 behind, but it's looking like he's struggling in the dirty air of that McLaren, and look how much he closes up through that section alone. So a lot more wing on that, and in comes McQuiz for his stop. Denzamo now has to push very, very hard indeed to make sure he comes out in front of McQuiz, but it looks like it's going to be a tall order. Onto the softs goes McQuiz, and let's see where he'll come out. He looks like he might be close between himself and David Ben. David Ben's going to come out in front of him, and where's Washi? He's going to come out in front of Washi as well, so championship leader remains behind his championship contender, so this could close the championship right up. He laps his teammate, and now Denzamo is 22 seconds ahead of McQuiz at this time, so he needs to keep pushing to make sure he comes out in front. Meanwhile, Danny OUK and Boniface are still going at it here. So, oh, kick of oversteer for James Boniface there. Oh, Danny OUK closes in even more, gets a huge kick of oversteer, and that's pretty much means he's had his chance for a little while. Meanwhile, Denzamo surely going to react to McQuiz coming in, and will surely come in this lap. Yeah, we got a yellow flag in Sector 3. Who is that for? It looks like it's just going to be a slow Force India, perhaps. It's a constant yellow in Sector 3. I'm not sure what that's for. I think it's just a glitch. Well, it was Jason. It was going slowly. Denzamo, does he come in? Yes, he does. So, let's see where this brings him out in relation to McQuiz. It looks like it's going to be McQuiz who comes out in front. David Ben should come out in the lead, but he's going to stay out. Denzamo's just been let off the jacks, and it looks like McQuiz is going to jump him, and indeed he does, but only just by a couple of seconds there. So he comes out back out in P3. David Ben remains out for another lap, but it's pretty much order as it was. But Washi now up to P4. He's essentially back in P3 now. After all of that action, Danny OUK still can't find a way past James Boniface there. Lap 11 of 26.
Welcome to our special guest, Jesse Porter and AKB, accompanied by the Duke.
So we should see a swap for the lead shortly between the Estonian of McQuiz and David Ben there, the Welshman. Danny UK looks like he's slipping away, so I think his softs have surely gone off at this point. Looks like Noodles had a problem there, so he could come out behind. He could end up behind Jason shortly now. We'll keep an eye on that as well, as we Danny UK still closing in on James Boniface here. Oh, big lock up for him there. Let's keep an eye, as we think we should see a swap position. Here comes McQuiz for the lead of the Grand Prix. I think David Ben should surely be coming in anyway, so I don't think he's going to have much competition. No, David Ben is going to stay out for another lap, so McQuiz is going to have to fight for this one. Hard on the brakes, David Ben gets a big old lock up into turn number 1 there. Hard kick of oversteer from McQuiz for his troubles. This will allow Denzamo to potentially close up here, but second bite of the cherry for the Estonian here. Let's watch as he opens his DRS. Good straight line speed on that Mercedes, it looks like. And there he goes. David Ben still holding station right now in the lead of this Grand Prix. Washi now 1.7 behind his teammate. And let's see if he can close up and pass his teammate here. McQuiz still unable to get past David Ben. He won't be able to do it in this section because it's very, very tight. So, there we go. Through the castle section. And follows him. Shadows his every move. Danny UK still unable to get past Boniface. So James Boniface is doing a good job, and there's surely his softs have worn off at this point. McQuiz struggling to get past David Ben here. Gets a kick of oversteer a little bit there, a little bit understeer, oversteer moment there. So he'll get DRS again, but can he get in front of the Ferrari? He's had to lift off, and McQuiz, I think, should be able to get past here. Oh, he's had to lift off a slight bit there. David Ben might be coming in. That might have been strategic from him there. So DRS open, slipstream, and in comes David Ben, and into the lead goes McQuiz. And let's see where David Ben will come out now. It looks like he'll have to get a wing change. Denzamo goes up to P2. Washi up, back up into the podium positions now. And he will have to stop again, or he might not if he does an incredible set of if he does some incredible tyre saving. That put Boniface back up into P4. And Danny UK, I'm speechless. What on earth has he done there? Has there been a bit of contact between him and Boniface there? Because that is a very, very strange place to have an accident. And for the 3rd time in a row, has gone out of this race. 3 starts, 3 non-finishes. That is a real shame for the Pole. First retirement in the Baku Grand Prix. So now it's McQuiz in the lead and on course to close the gap in the championship and get it down to about a 40-point deficit. So let's see if there's going to be a change between Washi and Denzamo, but I'm not sure there's going to be because Denzamo's on a lot fresher tyres. And it looks like we're going to see a swap here shortly between Zek, who's on, I'm not sure what strategy he's on right now. He's on super soft tyres, so he's obviously had to make another damage stop. IAJ is 24 seconds behind Seika and is having a race on his own right now. Jason and G Whites might have a swap of positions here right now. He's going to get the DRS off of Boniface, which is going to help him get past the Mercedes here. He'll get dragged along, and this should be a relatively easy move for the Red Bull as G White's have to come in again. So, we haven't got much left to go in this Grand Prix now. A yellow flag in Sector 1. And that has pretty much disappeared instantly. Noodle Stewart down in 12th. 2 minutes behind the field. Looks like it's going to be another non-point score for him. And G. Whites is going to be coming out in 10th in the last points paying position. Seika comes in for a stop onto the soft tyres there. So I think this could well be your finishing order. McQuiz still a commanding lead right now. IJ could be, he's close with Seika, so we could see a swap of position here. Seika's on brand new soft tyres, but IJ has a Mercedes engine in the back of his Force Indias. Let's see how this goes. And he's going to be cautious and stay behind and backs off, but got a very fast Zek behind. So can IJ stay within DRS detection here? Well, he's within 9/10 of a second, and I don't think he's going to have too much trouble in 6th position shortly of Seika. Oh, IJ is the first to be the victim of the castle section there. Has hit the wall on the way in, and is now going to have to reverse the whole way up the castle section, clatter the wall, try and get her going again. But he is the first victim to be claimed by the castle section. Is he stuck on the curb? Oh, you know, almost got stuck on the curb there. Gets going again eventually, but now has to make another stop for a front wing. So there's about 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. McQuiz is your leader, on his way to his 2nd victory this season. You have to remember all the way back to Australia until he took a victory in the opening round, then was absent for a couple of races, came back last time, or 2 races ago, and has now got himself into 2nd in the championship. Just think what the championship would look like now if McQuiz was on the same form he is now. It'd be so much closer. But Washi has been on form and has made sure he has a good lead in the championship over his companion. It was a Toro Rosso 1-2 in the championship and the constructors, but it's no longer that because Mercedes have wedged themselves in there as well. Sector 3, that could be for a G. I'm not sure what that was for. 10 laps to go in Azerbaijan, and it looks like things are going to stay the way they are. Apart from this particular battle, I think this could be a change. Zek trying to make his way past Seika here. David Ben pops in the fastest lap of the race, 1:45.9, is 11 seconds behind Boniface. Has made a good recovery, started last, and is now in 5th. He made up about 8 positions in 1 lap, which is pretty impressive. And that was on the first lap, of course. So then, this is probably the only battle these guys are going to have, because they're 37 seconds behind. And it's an... I'm speechless. I could have gone crazy there, but I really, really don't know what on earth has just happened. Zek has hit the pit wall on the way into the pits. He's going to be absolutely kicking himself for that one. I could have really gone crazy there, but such a surprise, really, that Zek has put it in the pit wall. I mean, we had to assume that he's going to stop again because he's on super softs, but wow. I was not expecting that. So we got 9 laps to go in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And that's the end to Zek's race. So Washi would have to assume is doing some serious tyre saving here. And it's going to go to the end on this set of medium tyres. And that's a kick of oversteer for his troubles. Almost commentators cursed him right there. Sector 1, we got a yellow flag. And it is G White who has gone straight on into the wall, it looks like. So it's going to be another expensive day of front wings for these guys. And it looks like Noodle is out as well. Oh dear. The third victim of that section is Stewart, who's hit the wall and is very much facing... He's facing towards the start finish, but that's the end to his race. The third retirement in Baku. Everybody's going to score points now. So that's a bonus for everybody who finishes. Will have a points finish. The gap has gone up about 2 seconds between Washi and Zam. I'm not sure what's going to happen. And that's a front wing damage right there. That's front wing, I think. Or is that just the design of the front wing there? No, it's definitely damage. There's a lot of damage to that front wing. The end plates look like they've gone off the front. Indeed, they have, compared to Denzama's front wing. See the end plates on the left hand side and the right hand side, and they're gone off Washi's car. Now, can he get to the end with that damage? Does he just bang on a set of new super softs and goes for it? So let's see then. Does he come in or will he stay out? Surely he'll stay out. No, he's going to have to come in. This is an absolute disaster for the championship leader. He'll have to make a second stop. And he's surely going to bang on a set of super softs. That puts Boniface into the podium positions. And this could really rocket him up in the championship now. After another podium finish, but don't count him out just yet. Washi will go on to a set of super softs. Like I said, David Ben goes to P4. Washi should come out in P5. Mechanic's got to work and get that front wing change done. And he'll come out in P5. But now he's got a titanic gain of points, well, gain of positions to make up now. And this is going to have a huge effect on the championship. If things remain there, he's got 16 seconds to make up to David Ben. I think it's a little bit too much to ask. So could this be potentially the turning point in the championship between Washi and McQuiz? It's going to come down a sight now, is the gap. David Ben 3.3 behind Boniface. Now, could he get himself on the podium? It's not out of the question. Boniface is on very, very old medium tyres. David Ben's on soft tyres. And he's most definitely catching him here. With about 7 laps to go in this Grand Prix. 2.5 the gap now. Gap's coming down very, very quickly indeed. It's right on board with the man in the Ferrari. As he closes in, little by little, on Boniface there. 2.3 the gap. It's come down very, very quickly. 2.2. Very quick in a straight line is this Ferrari. It looks like another fastest lap. He's pushing hard. He's pushed very hard to get himself this far up. He was 4/10 of a second quicker that previous time out. So he's got so much pace in the bag. 1.4 seconds clear now. See how hard he's pushing, glancing the wall on the way through. Through they go for the 19th time in this race. We know Daniel UK couldn't get past Boniface. The dirty air started affecting him. So will we see a repetition of that again? He's within DRS range now. This could be a fantastic recovery for David Ben here to get a podium after starting in last place. Catches up a sight through that section. staying on board with the Ferrari driver as he is hounding the back of that McLaren now. He's caught up about a second and a bit on that previous lap there. Through they go. Gets a kick of oversteer for his trouble there. Loses about a tenth of a second. But he will have DRS this time around. And he's very, very quick in a straight line. But also, James Boniface is as well in that McLaren. Watch the DRS flap on the back. Pop open and release that air through the rear of the car. And is catching 212 miles an hour. And is now as close as he's ever been throughout this race. 4/10 of a second. He'll have another go at him here. DRS section for the second time. Oh, Boniface loses it. Too much pressure on that man. And he spun the car. And obviously got on the power way too early there. But this could give Washi another position and make sure that McQuizz's gain is as little as possible. So, can Boniface struggle through the rest of the race with that wing damage? I'm not sure he can. But David Benz secures himself a podium after starting in last position. Now Washi could make sure he gets in fourth position. It won't be the perfect race he wanted on his birthday. But looks like his wishes didn't come through for a win and a pole position. Might have to settle for just a fourth place finish at the worst. Now you may notice that he is in fifth. Boniface has just had an accident and has lost his front wing. And Washi's catching him very quickly. So should be no problem. Through he goes. Gets a kick of oversteer. So he should surely be coming into the pit lane. Look how much damage there is on the left hand side. He should be comfortably come out in front of Seika. Could be a little tight between himself and Seika though. Could Seika clinch his best result of the season and get himself a fifth position? Well, he's on his way to do that anyway, to get a sixth position. Oh, Boniface! And has he made? Ho, 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 ho. Washi. Heart in mouth moment right there. Almost so close to hitting the wall. Somehow didn't. And I think he's going to have a new pair of pants after that one. 5 seconds stop go for Boniface, speeding in the pit lane. So he should surely serve that right now. No, he'll have to come in again. Or will he have that added to his time? So, where is Seika? He's going to come out there, but he's going to have to come in anyway. So Seika's on his way to his best result. His best result this season has been 7th. He's in 6th currently, well in front of Ian. Boniface bolts on a set of super softs, but he will have to serve a 5 second stop go. He can choose when he does that, but it has to be before the end of the race. So the field is very, very spread out indeed. And it looks like that's going to be your finishing order. With McQuizz, looks like he's going to be really assert himself as a championship contender right now by closing that gap. And let's see if he can keep up this record in the next 12 or so races. Very long season, this F1 season, but it makes for some good action. This hasn't been the greatest race for action, but the opening couple of laps, of course, were fantastic as always. Washi pops in the fastest lap, so even on his birthday, still wants some sort of recognition. He did say that anybody who didn't let him through and win would be blacklisted, so it looks like David Ben, Denzamo, McQuizz, your season is over. I'd recommend you hang up your gloves. Lap 22 of 26 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and we're riding on board with McQuiz, who has led every single lap but 2. Started on pole, hasn't got fastest lap, but is on his way to race victory. So, a bit of fuel saving. You can see him messing with the fuel switches down by the purple switch there. So let's see, where's Boniface on track? He should be coming in for his 5-second stop go shortly. Either way, he's going to come up behind this man, Seika. Be a good result for the Haas team. Clean Bandit is nowhere to be seen today. He's got a race ban, of course, for his interesting accident in Monaco. So we will see him in Austria next time out. Just for your information, Clean Bandit was actually blacklisted and banned for that accident, but the community came together and we got him back again because we thought it was a very, very, very harsh penalty for the guy's first race. Now, it was a serious accident because this man was involved. Ended up 90 degrees across the wall. But it's all a learning process, so we'll see him out in Austria next time, hopefully. And let's see how he gets on. 4 laps to go in this Grand Prix. And it's pretty much been the easiest race I could have asked for. Boniface takes the honour away from Washi and goes fastest. But will have to come in again or risk disqualification. He currently lies 5th in the championship. Could he get himself a little bit further up? But we've had 3 retirements. Zek in a very, very interesting accident, hitting the pit wall. Stewart lost it coming up to the start-finish line, and Daniel UK also hit the pit wall on his way to a very good result. 3 non-finishes in 3 races. 2 laps to go. 3 laps to go, excuse me, in Baku. It put on a hell of a show in the real-life season. Hasn't quite done the same in the virtual one, but it is going to give us another winner. It's going to be McQuiz, who's surely going to take the victory, with Denzamo getting another excellent podium. So don't count him out of the championship either. He's been the most consistent this season. David Ben is definitely on form now. Is now going to get another podium for his troubles. At the start of the season, he was the man with the 100% record of crashing on the start line. He's turned that around. Hasn't had a victory at all this season. Was close in Monaco. Didn't come through in the end. But he's certainly one to watch as well. He's currently 3rd in the championship. So McQuiz is going to start lap 25 or 26. And is 9 seconds clear of Denzamo. So there's been a relatively penalty-free session, apart from Boniface's 5-second stop-go penalty. So the guys have been very good. They've kept the car between the white lines, as they're supposed to. Denzamo begins his 25th lap. David Ben coming up to start his one as well. Washi started on the front row. Is not going to get a podium today. Looks like he's still struggling away with wing damage there. But maybe perhaps pushing for fastest lap to even get some sort of recognition or honour on his birthday. He's only got a lap and a bit to do that, though. The field is pretty much on their own. We got a yellow in sector 1 that must be for G Whites, and it is. It was letting a couple of lapped cars through there, so I decided to stop, and is the only driver not on the lead lap, it looks like. Yeah, 1 lap. Nobody is disconnected today, which is always a good sign. Sticking with McQuiz as he will begin his final lap. That's right on board with the Estonian. And there we go. David Ben, I literally said it a couple of seconds ago that it was a relatively penalty-free session, and there he goes and gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. It won't affect his position, but naughty boy. McQuiz is going to start his final lap in Azerbaijan before we leave this track for another year. We will see it again next season. Begins his final lap through turn 1. Lock up for his troubles there. All he has to do is keep it between the white lines. And is doing everything he needs to do right now to make sure he wins his second or he takes his second victory this season. First win in Australia, and the second is going to come a couple of rounds later in Azerbaijan. One of the toughest tracks on the calendar. Every driver seems to hate it. It's even worse than Sochi in some drivers' opinion. But I don't think it's going to matter to the victor. The victor's going to love this track because they're taking a victory out of it, I suppose. Very easy. Through the castle section, see how cautious he went there. Just making sure he gets through there unscathed. And is now going to go into the final sector for the final time. Making sure he doesn't go straight on there. No driver has done that. David Ben is secure in his podium, and Denzamo is very much secure in his second place. But it has been a dream scenario for the Estonian here, as coming through the final S section, here he comes for the final time. McQuiz is going to win in Baku. He's on his way to the line right now. It takes a while to get there, but here he comes, the Mercedes driver for the second time this season, after 4 non-starts, takes the win in Baku, and is going to close the gap in the championship, and is now asserted himself as a very, very strong contender for the F8 Championship. Denzamo is going to pick up another podium for his troubles, and is also going to close the gap up in the championship between himself and McQuiz there, but there were 2 points between them. There is now probably a little bit more. David Ben takes another podium, another fantastic podium for the Ferrari driver there. Washi will take P4, and Boniface looks like he's going to pick up P5, but to wait for all the drivers to come through. The second win for Mercedes this season. G White's, of course, down in P9, his teammate. Only driver not on the lead lap, but is still going to pick up points for the Mercedes constructors. But with a second and a fourth, Tower also still lead the constructors. Boniface picks up P5. Still a good result after his win last time in Canada. More points for McLaren there. Seika gets his best result of the season in P6. Well done to him. And Jason will finish in P8 for Red Bull. The driver we're just waiting for Seika to cross the line. Just the only driver we're waiting for now is the American in the American car, and there he goes. He crossed the line to take P6 and his best result of the season. But the day belongs to this man, the Estonian McQuiz. Second victory of the season. And now we will have the podium celebrations. And for the second time, the Estonian anthem will ring out across Baku. There are the drivers stepping onto the podium now. Denzamo, McQuiz and David Ben, 3 different manufacturers, step onto the podium, and that's always what we like to see. So from all of us here in the commentary box in F8, we hope you have enjoyed this race. We'll see you next time out. in Austria. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.